Good morning. Welcome. It is Tuesday, August 4th. We are 90 days out from November 2nd. And your DTD2 this week, you are calling your C's and your K's, and you're texting your I's. We have a full slate for a Tuesday. Don't forget, we're doing Breakthrough 120. I've heard people call it breakout, outbreak. Listen, if you come down with a rash, not my fault. I'll have you sign a disclaimer before you start class. But we do have Breakthrough 120 taking place all week long. In the past, when it launched this year, we had done it on consecutive Mondays, all 5 sessions. What we're doing this week is we're doing it all in 1 week. So session 1 through session 5. Yesterday was database. Today is follow-up. We're going to do open houses. And we're going to do appointments, and then we are doing finally social media on Friday. So we are into follow-up today. So today, after this, at 9 o'clock, you have a couple things going on. Pathway to Success is taking place in person in Portsmouth with the Brittany Goodale. You can be part of that conversation if you join Pathway. Basically, it's your playbook for getting started. It's going to give you a, hey, here's day 1, day 2, all the way through, and getting yourself started as an agent. And you're meeting with her on Tuesdays at 9 o'clock. That's today in the training room in Portsmouth. Breakthrough 120, session 2, lead follow-up, is in the Shark Tank in Portsmouth and also online at kellerbreakthrough.com. So you can just click the Zoom link for the 9 o'clock class with lead follow-up, and that is of course lead follow-up today in the Shark Tank or on the Zooms. So you're either going to hang out with Brittany for Pathway or come to class if you still have not taken the class. Then if you're doing lead gen for the rest of the morning, you can do that at Breakthrough Club, and that is our lead gen Zoom room. The link for that is in the morning news. So there's your 9 o'clock, right? After that, we're going to talk about what we did or didn't do insofar as having our conversations. And that's going to be different for everybody. I was having a conversation yesterday with an agent who has had a fantastic career. And we were just talking about what does it look like when you just start to discern what the future of your business is going to look like. And I remember, and I shared with this with them yesterday, I remember a handful of years ago, and he's still a barber in Portsmouth. And fantastic, by the way. He goes by Brass Lavoie. It's Patrick Lavoie. He's got a great shop right here in Portsmouth. And years ago, he was just like, "Yeah, I think I gotta probably start working." And he was going to add hours on the weekdays. He was going to add hours on the weekends. And I said, "Well, what you should do at this point, because demand is up, is you should probably change your price point to benefit yourself, and you should probably pull yourself away." And what that did for him, and this is what I recommend people start to consider when you hit that point. You're not thinking like, okay, I'm going to be done. I'm really walking away. And this is obviously a conversation that everyone will consider at some point. But what does it look like when you get to the point where you know you're going to just start landing the plane? You know, that part of the flight. And if you're going to mega camp and you're heading to San Antonio in a couple of weeks, it's that part of the flight where they're like, hey, we're starting to make our descent. Like 5 minutes before that announcement gets made, and you start to have that feeling like, I know we're getting close. Maybe you're watching the flight tracker because you're a dork. But you know you're getting close. You know the pilot's about to make the announcement that we're about to start our descent. You're going to start to pack up your electronics, put your tray table back, bring your seat up, all that kind of stuff. When you're at that point of your career, I don't know what the considerations are, but I think you start to discern about what you're going to move away from and what you're going to keep doing. And I ask this question quite often when people are in the middle of their career. You know, what was the first thing that you wanted to give away? Or maybe even as they're really getting started, what do you think the first thing is that you will give away? And then I love to ask the question of any agent, and consider this for yourself right now, no matter where you are in your career. What do you picture your last day looking like? What's the last thing you want to do in your business? And I don't mean that lunch with your whole team and you're going off to sit in a thatch hut and drink cocktainis, which sounds fantastic. I mean, what's the last thing you want to do? Do you want to do a recruiting appointment to bring new sales talent onto your team? Do you want to do a hiring appointment to bring new talent, operational talent onto your team? Do you want to sit at one last kitchen table and do a listing? Do you want to sit with one last buyer? Like, what do you want your last thing to do? That's worth considering. I saw a great quote over the weekend, and the question was, how do you know that in the end, all will go well? And the response was, because I know the author. It's why you're here. That's why you stepped out of general employment. That's why you're now an independent contractor. So we can control our calendar, we can control our bank account, and we can decide what our business and our legacy will look like. So will you decide, not because you won't serve them, but do you decide at some point that, yeah, I think I'm only taking listings now? I mean, and if a buyer is near and dear to my heart, sure, I'll work with them. But my listings, of course, are going to garner buyers. And when I get those buyers, I'll send those buyers out to people that I trust to help them build their business. And I can grab my 25%, blah, blah, blah. And start to be okay with the fact that it's not all about the success. And when I say success, I'm tying that to income. It's about the significance. And the significance to me is about the outcomes, the legacy, the stories people will tell about your greatness when you're gone from the industry and from this earth. How do you want to be remembered? What change do you want to affect for people? And you have the ability to start whenever you want. There are very successful agents that choose to stay in a certain portion of real estate because it's the one that gives them the most joy. And what if you just decided to do that earlier than it feels appropriate? As long as you're meeting your goals. But at some point, and I've talked about this quite often, there was another agent a handful of years ago. And she said to me, she's like, the check is great, but that doesn't even excite me anymore. I'm more invested in the emotional gratitude that I feel for my clients and that my clients feel for me when everyone gets what they want, which is the win-win from the Y4C2Ts. And I've said time and time again, I would like Gary to make it 4 Ws. I think the brokers should both be involved in that conversation. And not that they aren't, but as your friend and your coach, I want it to be a win across the board. And yes, we could say that if my client is winning, I'm winning. It's all about them. Yes, and you getting them to the finish line and you being at zero and out of gas with nothing to bring home to your loved ones, that's not the world that I wish for you. And I don't think it's the one that you wish for yourself. So decide what makes sense. Decide who doesn't get access anymore. And it's not that you're going to cut people off, but you can decide to change your standards. Your standards are what you allow. And as I said to my friend Patrick, you simply change your price point and you don't expand your access. Don't add hours at the same price point. Change the price point and stay pat with your availability or lessen your availability. And that will cause two things. It will cause the people who truly enjoy your service to not question your value, but to lean into it, to celebrate the fact that you're not stepping out of the practice. You're just shrinking the circle of people that get to play with you. We've done it in the past. It's happened in the past. I've had people in the last handful of years, really since COVID, as volume kept going up. It's happened to all of us. You're like, hey, Timmy, you know what's weird? I'm not helping as many families, but my income has not diminished because our volume went up. Now, I'm not saying that's the way to lead this. I'm just saying what you can do should you be choosing to. because I still want to make sure that we're helping all the families that need our help. But if you're deciding to pull back because you're in the season that it makes sense for you to do that, that's a way you can do that. Absence creates obsession. And if you're at an exclusive price point and you stand firm on your value to serve a family to get them to the finish line with listings or in search of their property as a buyer's agent or helping an investor, that's going to benefit you because the time you take back, you can spend with your loved ones. And the increased opportunity, the revenue you bring home to your loved ones allows you to say yes to more things for them and their future, which is why we're doing this. I don't know a single person that's in real estate to not be profitable. And the monetary capital is great, as long as we can back that with emotional capital that we bring home to spend on our loved ones, not waste in the streets. If I can help you think that through, if that's something that you've been pining over, or if you just need to start to really hone in on what your standards are and what you allow, who you let into your world, so the best version of you goes home to your loved ones, let's talk about it. 603-834-2856. You can also book my face at meetwithcoach.com. I have gotten a few messages that, yes, I am booking into September right now. The third week of August, we will be at Mega Camp. The final week of August, I'll be bringing my son Aiden back to school in Illinois. So, yes, we are getting jammed up on the calendar. Don't hesitate to go schedule your time and then just shoot me an email and say, hey, do you have any cancellations? Because that invariably happens on a regular basis. I look forward to talking to you. Can't wait to see you in and around the market center and the internet. Enjoy the weather today. Have a great day.